I think we are live. Hey everybody, welcome to Game Dev Garage. Welcome to another super cool live stream. Super cozy coding live stream. So actually I'm working on my SpaceKraft project, which I started very long years ago and paused for some reasons and restarted again to fix it and complete it and launch it, hopefully in a few months. So in this video, actually, I want to talk about some techniques I'm using in Cocos Creator, because SpaceKraft is made in Cocos Creator. So this is why I started this live stream. So hope you like it. Sorry. So if you want to see Hello. Is it okay? Yeah, it should work. Sound check, 1, 2, 3. So I think I accidentally just switched the scene. Alright, I have long wanted to ask if Cocos has something similar to this sprite shape in Unity. Yeah, I think you're talking about shaping sprites as you want, right? Actually, I didn't use sprite shape in Unity, but I worked on a custom shader to shape my own sprites over planets. Yeah, so normally, let me show you the planets I'm working on. In this game, we have, planets, and these are tiny planets, so we need to shape objects to fit on planet surface. And all the designs are just rectangular and flat shapes. Then I had to find a way to bend them to fit the planet surface, so I made a custom shader, which helps me to bend a sprite to fit on planet surface. But I didn't go that much further to make a sprite shape like thing. I don't know if it exists in current implementations. I didn't check the latest versions of Cocos Creator yet, but probably it can be solved a kind of custom shader with a Bezier points, curves, or something like that. At the end of the day, we turned back and we made our designs to like this. Made our designs with parts, and we shaped them by positioning them on the planet surface. That became easier for us because when we bend structures like this, longer structures, that become very weird shaped. Upper sides will be larger and lower sides will be smaller. So that solution didn't work for me better. So we decided to edit them in Photoshop or separate them smaller parts to fit our planet surface. Yeah, I can say that. So let me quickly push this one. Removed. Target indicator square. Up. Yes. It is okay. Now I can go back to this commit. How can I go that? Check out to this commit. Yeah. Check out. You're welcome. So we go back, and now I will just reopen the scene. Actually, maybe I should check the main scene, maybe home scene, if it starts where I want. Paradox planet. So we need to make it bootcamp planet to start from bootcamp planet. Of course, I should enable dev mode, so I have unlimited number of crystals. Yes, just let me show you what happens. As before, I will go and buy an upgrade, the docking arm upgrade, and go back. So let me show you the previous state, whoops, of this thing. So I go connect link, whoops. Now you can see it is a physical object. It stays as physical object, and the problem is, whoop, if I go that way, I just want to show you the problem. It is not easy. So let me show you the other side. Easy to show, I guess. So if I stay under the cable, okay, you will see the problem. This is a problem for years. Literally, this problem was exist for years. Yeah, so I cannot get out, or if I try to move, I destroy the connection. So I will go back to the previous commit we came from. So I'll just reset this, and I will show you the technique I used. If you check out to this commit, yeah. If you work on some kind of bigger projects, you can easily see that actually making things just right away never solves your problems. Okay, so you have to design a system, and you have to stick with your design, your system. Okay, so you can't just go there and just write 2 lines of code and solve the problem. You have to follow your own rules to solve in-game problems. Otherwise you destroy your own system and you can't go anywhere. You just you just can't go anywhere. Game doesn't work. So here we have a problem that when we connect these 2 points, we need to trigger some kind of event, some kind of action. I call action and event in same way. Let me see the point. Where is it? So here is the power cable. This is the cable, the whole cable, and we have a lock point here. Normally I made lock point component for checking if it has lockable something, some point, lockable points in the range. If so, it goes just and just makes a weld joint or a revolute joint to be connected to that point, okay, and triggers some other internal things, internal functions to deliver the power across this power line. So I won't go that detail, but here I designed some kind of a class named game actions. Okay, so I'll show you how it works. Normally this lock point has 2 entries here. One is on action, the other one is off action. So let me just add an action here. So if we add an on action, which will be triggered when we connect something, actually, yeah, we can say that. It can be just power on off, I don't remember, but it's okay. So if it is on, it will trigger some kind of actions, list of actions. So this is the number 1 action. When I choose the action type, you can see I have a lot of actions can be called. Okay, you can literally do anything. I can activate and not deactivate it, or toggle its active state, or I can emit an event. This is a native event of Cocos Creator. Actually, we can call a function in a component. Here I have a logic trigger, animation, render visibility, camera shake, camera, target, load scene. You can even load another scene when you connect to objects, okay? So I don't go to lock point component and write just my own random code to make my thing happen. I just made a, how to say, intermediate kind of class to handle all events, and I can add this class to any other component. And so I just add a functionality that how to say, a functionality that calling any action in game to any component. Yeah, so welcome Esra, thank you. So here you can see we have dozens of things can be called. So I'll tell you about how I make this thing actually. So here we have the lock points. Actually, I just put the functionality to this part rather than this part. So here, if we connect this thing to here, let me just check lock point. Yeah, if it is locked, yeah, lock actions, break actions. Okay, when we lock this point to here, it will call emit event, and this is the regular event in Cocos Creator. Will call this component's function. Let's see the function of this component. Yes, so here, actually maybe I can just put it here and make it that way. So here you can easily see, actually this component is very easy, very simple component that just loops through physics colliders and make them sensor and apply. That's easy. So I just made a list of colliders and added them here, and if we call make them sensor, sensor means ghost in Cocos Creator, so it will not trigger any kind of physical reaction, any collisions. So it will just make sensor. If we call make normal, it will make them a regular 3D 2D object which interacts with other physics objects. Okay, so normally I could make custom components on this connector, actually on this lock point, but I already wrote a game action class. Then I can call anything here. So I add these functionalities to all other components. Let me show you. For example, here there is a platform that we can land with our spaceship. Let's just demonstrate it to understand better. Yeah, let's just go. Actually, we can just resume the game. No, we are unable to resume. Probably we need to start the game. Oops. I'll restart it. Actually, it works on browser version, but sometimes it just breaks on the simulator. I don't know why. Maybe we make changes scene and save data is not perfectly fitting. Okay, I want to just show you how we land on this station. Okay, you can just come here and land. When we landed, it triggers an event and it shows this terminal. Okay, it's very easy. So when we land, it just shows. When I take off, it just closes the terminal. So here is the logic behind it. I just made physics trigger. Okay, physics trigger can filter objects landed on it or touched it or collided it. Okay, so here I filter it if it is tagged as spaceship container. Okay, so if the object interacting with this platform is spaceship container, this is just a filter before we handle the logic. If so, we have some triggers. Let me just open only triggers here. So here we have trigger tips. Actually, I can make literally any kind of physical triggers with this component. For example, here we have on landed, on takeoff, on change, on hit, on area cleared, on area occupied, or the other kind of events I added in time when I need it. So here we have some other options. When we landed, we just emit an event, okay, and open console event for contact control. Okay, so here it triggers another event which will complete a mission item. Okay, so you can see we already have we already have complete mission item entry here. So when we landed, it also triggers this. So this action has its own options enabled or disabled based on these options, based on this menu. So we define the name of the mission and we complete. So it adds another action, another mission to the mission panel. Okay, so it activates a node which will direct us to another position when we took off here. As you can see, actually, by making action trigger by making game action class, we can actually design any kind of in-game scenario. Okay, so here it will just complete an mission, start another mission, and enable this object here. Let me show you. When you enabled, it is a physics trigger that will show the direction of the fuel station, okay, or service station. Let me just show you. It's super easy logic. Actually, normally you can make this logic by just writing your own components for that logic, but at the end of the day you have to write components for any kind of situation you need, and all the time you will find yourself just coding things. Okay, most of the time you will be coding same things again and again. But this way, after you completed all your library of components and game actions and other trigger things, you are able to go design your levels without coding anything. Okay, so maybe you need some small things. Still, you will need to code some small things, but most of the logic, most of the scenario you can just build with your components. Actually, why I'm talking about this system too much is I'm using this system on Unity also. So actually I made a system on Cocos Creator, a logic, some kind of idea, and actually I built a very similar thing on Unity, and I'm still using it on my current projects and new frameworks I made, new games I'm working on. Because the idea behind is not related to any kind of programming language, or it's not limited to any game engine. Actually, it's your own system and your own, you can say, idea set. Okay, so if you remember, when we take off here, actually it already completed this mission, you can see, and enabled this mission. So when we take off and when we pass this line, actually another physics trigger is already enabled now. We cannot see, but it is there. So when we pass this line, it will show the direction of service station. So I designed a scenario to help the player. Yeah, you see, it just enabled as added another the mission panel and show the direction of the target. Yeah, so very similar logic valid for here also. When I landed here, it just checks if it is spaceship. If not, if it will just ignore it, and if it is as it's my spaceship, so it will open the station panel. So here, let's buy the docking arm and test the power line thing. Yep. Probably two music is mixing together, so let me just mute the background music. Okay. Yeah, so here, let's just take this power line. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The same thing will happen. I will just connect this. Now it is a ghost, so I can easily pass through it. Surprisingly, it still interacts with triggers that I have in my spaceship. I can hold it and remove it. Now it is a physical object. If I connect it, it becomes ghost again. Oh, so it was too turbulent for a flight. Whoa. Come on, give me. Yeah. This is really a hard game. Come on. Okay, I give up. So here, by the way, the interesting thing, I can talk about one thing. So interesting thing is, what if we have two connections and if only two of them connected, we should make this rope, actually cable, ghost. Okay. So here I made a trigger named logic trigger. So if you have a logic trigger in game, if you can actually use and or logic in your game, so you can actually design very detailed scenarios. So let me show you here. Actually, let me go in the list. Yeah, lock point here. So this is our lock point. Oops, maybe I should check the power connector. No, this is not power connector. No, yeah, we are here. So this is the lock point. So if this lock point locks, it will call true on logic trigger in this power cable. So here on this power cable I put a logic trigger which has two input ports, lock point 1 and lock point 2. If these are both true, it will call true actions here. If one of these inputs are false, it will call false actions. So the same thing will happen here. If true actions called, this rope, this cable became sensor, which is ghost. If not, it will become a normal cable as before. So as you can see, if I had to make this kind of logic, so I need to go and write a component that handles that logic, only specific for this part of this game. But rather I made a logic component that I can use anywhere in the game. So I can define, for example, if we have a crystal dropped here, and if we connected all the power lines and our spaceship did something, blah blah, that we can trigger some kind of events. For example, if we remove this rock from this area, you can see the sensor of clearance sensor, we can call this. So if you remove this rock and if we remove these objects from this area and we remove these objects from this area, they will trigger something on this contact station, and that will show us a different kind of message. It becomes a bit complicated and becomes complex actually, but it is still better when you just go and edit components rather than editing code all the time. Okay, so maybe next phase can be make a visual graph that shows the connections between all these components, all these actions, logic triggers and other physical triggers, that that they can be just positioned on a graph, visual graph, and with lines which represents the connections between them. But in this game, I'm okay with this solution, so I will release this game as this. But maybe next time, maybe in the next project, I can make as I said, a visual graph that shows. That obviously will be easy to manage all the situations in the game, but it is okay for now. Yeah. Actually, that's all. I was planning to talk about this idea, and let me check out my notes. Add friction to generators crystal pad. Show controls on pause screen. Okay. I have several notes to make, but I think it is okay for this video. So if you have questions, just throw them in the chat. So I'll be here for a few minutes. So before wrapping up, maybe I can share with you the game projects we are working on. The biggest project we are working on is Ottopunks Gangs of Bosphorus project. You can find devlog videos, mostly live streams, and some other fast-paced devlog videos about this project. Actually, not only this project, I'm working on a framework to be able to make many kind of games for current and future projects. And so this project is first production of this framework. So go check out my other videos if you are interested in technical details of this game system. and please go and add it to your wishlist to support us. So we are counting wishlist every day. So it's very important for us. And the other game, Hellcome, is another game we are working on it. Hopefully we are gonna release this game together with SpaceKraft after Steam Next Fest. This is a multiplayer co-op game that you can fight against zombies with your friends. So please go and add it to our wishlist also. Yes, and you already know SpaceKraft. Okay guys, I think we are okay for today's video. So if you have questions about Cocos Creator or other game engines or other ideas, just write in the comment section. And if you like this video, please hit like, and if you are not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications when I go live and I release new videos. So thank you very much. See you in the next video. Bye bye. By the way guys, before moving on, I just want to show you the game I made when I was learning game development years ago. I was planning to make a simple game, but it turned out really well. SpaceKraft is a physics-based space game which we control a spaceship to move objects around, gather resources, upgrade our spaceship and travel between planets. The link is in the description guys. You can play the demo and add it to your wishlist.